This is my everything notebook, and today I'm going to show you how I use it every day. I'm Jen Tatro, and this is from Jen. When I really break it down, there are 3 ways that I use my notebook on a regular basis, and those are logging, noting, and diving. And I'm going to get into what each of those means for me, as well as how each of them affects my productivity, my creativity, and my mental health. I want to start with logging because in a lot of ways, logging is the crux of my daily relationship with my notebook and planner. And for me, logging comes down to this page-a-day calendar. I log in several ways. First of all, I sketch. Sketching out moments of my day is a recent habit of mine. It either involves sitting down during the day when I'm experiencing something to sketch it in the moment, or snapping a photo and doing it at a quieter time at the end of the day. And I will admit freely I do not sketch every day, but when I do, I find it really helpful. I also log by noting down what I wore on any particular day because I love my clothes and I love to look back and see what I was wearing at different points in my life. I log my meditation time. I log my exercise. I log sometimes what I'm eating, but more often just whether or not I ate out. And I log things that I accomplished. Those accomplishments can range all over the place. I just like to be able to see what I did when I look back over the past week or month or year. Some days I write down that I took a nap or went for a walk, and other days are loaded with work or life accomplishments. It just really depends on the day. But everything counts because everything is a part of the life that I'm living. So how does logging help me? Well, in terms of my mental health, logging gives me a sense of accomplishment at the end of a day. Sometimes when I really feel like I have done nothing but lie on the couch, I sit down to write my list and I discover that I've actually done quite a bit that I just wasn't considering as important. It also inspires gratitude. I have a mixed relationship with making gratitude lists. But I do find that especially those sketches that I do help me to look back on what I've done and really appreciate those special moments. And of course, logging things like meditation and exercise just encourages good habits. Those habits are good for my mental health, and seeing the consecutive days in which I did them rack up encourages me to keep going. In terms of productivity, logging helps me to see trends. As I look back, I can see small tasks add up, and that really gives me a sense of accomplishment that makes me want to continue being more productive. I can also see negative trends if I notice that I haven't spent any time on something that I need to do for my goals. I can note that as well, and I can try to change it. And in terms of creativity, my regular sketching really does engage that creative part of my brain. And on days when I don't sketch, I tend to put stickers or tape or something decorative in the journal just to fill the space. And that gives me a few moments with that creative part of my brain. I don't try to force it because just the very act of filling out the daily planner is also a source of creativity in that it gives me a big overview of my life that I can flip back through and mine for ideas for future content or other things that I would like to write about. Let's talk about noting. Noting centers on this notebook, just a blank dot grid. By noting in this context, I literally mean taking notes. That means writing down notes about books I want to read, about quotations I've heard, about research I want to follow up on, as well as watching documentaries, reading books, seeing YouTube videos or TED Talks and making notes about the things in them that inspire or interest me. I also note down ideas, and I think that brainstorming is a part of noting as well. So how does this noting practice affect my creativity and mental health and productivity? I recently took an online character strength quiz in an effort to improve my happiness by utilizing my biggest strengths more in my day-to-day life. My number one strength, according to that quiz, was a love of learning. And I figured out that by consciously applying that love of learning, by taking notes, by integrating knowledge that I gain into my overall understanding of the world, that it really does make me happier and improve my mental health. In terms of creativity, the act of brainstorming itself is a creative practice, but also seeing my different notes jumbled together and in juxtaposition, pulling from different sources, it really gives me an opportunity to creatively combine things that I might not otherwise. This notebook is an endless source of ideas for my content, my writing, my video making, and just the way I think about the world. And I'm sure you can see how that ties into productivity as well. Having all of these notes in one place means that it's easier for me to find them and to spark my memory when I'm working on something. It also just keeps me from forgetting things that might be useful to know later on. Writing things down cements them in my brain. Otherwise, a TED Talk or a documentary might go in one ear and out the other, but having those notes in my notebooks means that I have them someplace where they are going to stay and be accessible when I need to go back to them. And finally, there's the diving, which is best represented by my journal. When I say diving, what I mean is going in deep on a topic. I mean assembling all of that knowledge and digging in to find out the roots of it for me and for you, my audience. In my journal, that's really a mental health practice. It's looking into some problem or issue that I've faced and really asking myself, why? Why is this happening? Why do I feel like this? And what can I change or do or reframe in order to feel better about it? In terms of creativity, my diving involves pulling from disparate sources and starting to bring them together to search deeper about those inklings that I thought I might be interested in, and to really assimilate all of that knowledge into a whole that I can then put out into the world. And in terms of productivity, diving deep is sitting down with my notebook and making a brain map or an outline of material that I want to present. It's the amazing process of taking a note here, an idea here, a photo over here, and coalescing those into something that's different, something that I have created. For me, that almost always starts on paper in my notebook, even if I might go to my computer later to make a script or a more formal outline. I'm curious if this logging, noting, diving divide speaks to you at all, if it mirrors your own process in any way. I would love to hear down in the comments. And I hope that it gives you some insight into how my creative process works, how I use my traveler's notebook, and how things go from here to here to here. Until next time, I'm wishing you love and joy and all of those good things. And I can't wait to talk to you again.